Hi everyone, my name is Brady McFarland, and tonight I am going to demonstrate applying cognitive behavioral therapy to an individual who has been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. Tom is the client I'll be working with tonight. He is a 42-year-old Caucasian male. Of course, he's a male. He is of Irish descent. Tom is considered middle class. He has a well-paying job working on an assembly line at General Motors. And he is currently raising his children, two boys, Connor 12, Keegan 8, as a single father. The mother is not part of the parenting process at all. Tom, however, has a really good supportive network of friends and family. He's close with both parents, his mother and father. He is close to all of his siblings, and in fact, they all live in close proximity to one another, so they're a great network to help out with things he might need. In addition to that, he's actively involved in his church. He has a great friendship network within the church community. He plays in the church band, the guitar. It's somewhat of a hobby of his and a way to an outlet for all the stress and anxiety that peaks throughout the week. He's also actively involved in coaching both boys' soccer teams. So Tom has a really good supportive network of friends and family, and he is also socially engaged. Tom's presenting problem is managing his aggression, his verbal aggression with his boys when he becomes very anxious. He has recently been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, and he is currently taking a low dose of an anti-anxiety medicine. He states it does help take the edge off. He is experiencing insomnia. He wakes up constantly with racing thoughts of fears, doubts, concerns, and these all center around his children. And if he's, a good father and doing the right thing, raising the boys as a single father, and he's constantly concerned with their well-being. So in addition to being diagnosed with GAD, he also is experiencing insomnia and has come to community mental health seeking our service in managing the unwanted behavior of being verbally aggressive with his boys when his anxiety level hits maximum. So I have decided to use cognitive behavioral therapy as an intervention with Tom. I chose this therapy to use with Tom because it's a behavior he wants to manage. CBT stems from two theoretical frameworks. You've got cognitive theory and behavioral theory, and together the underlying assumption of CBT is that there is a connection between our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. So what we think reflects how we feel and then feeds into how we behave. And if there's an unwanted behavior we want to correct, we first must bring into our awareness the thought process and the feelings that precede this unwanted behavior. Once we're aware of the thought process and those feelings, we can then change what we think, which will reflect a more positive feeling, which of course will feed into a more positive outcome, which would be a more productive behavior. So I decided to use CBT for this reason with Tom. This is going to be our second our second session together. We met a few weeks back in which I covered confidentiality issues, and we also discussed, what his concerns were, what he was hoping to get out of the services at Community Mental Health, and once again stated his presenting problem to be that of wanting to manage the unwanted behavior of verbally being aggressive with his boys when his anxiety levels have peaked. He wanted to come up with ways to cope with that anxiety and ways to communicate in a calmer, more productive, more meaningful way with his boys.